Welcome, as always, to TOS Sports, your daily show on cricket, Indian cricket, and all that. Today on Beyond the Boundary, we're going to be reviewing the mid innings show. We are going to review the Australian batting effort, and to talk about that, we've got with us Manuja Virappa joining us from Bengaluru and Nitin Naik from Mumbai. Welcome to the show,
Hi.
ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot for joining. Manuja, starting off with
Thank you.
you. India restricting Australia to 264. On balance, would you consider it to be glass half full or glass half empty?
I look at it as the glass house half full. I think that middle overs of the 36th over when Smith was dismissed, I think that kind of slowed down the pace. Uh, I think batting second, of course, will be tricky. It was a good toss to win for Australia. Uh, but overall, I think with the way they've been able to pull them back, they were 150, I think, at the 30th over mark. In the last 20 overs, to just restrict them to like 106. I think those key wickets of Smith, Maxwell, all back to back, I think did well for India.
Nitin, have you seen evidence of any kind of demons in the pitch like New Zealand saw a couple of days ago?
No, I think this is a better wicket than that one. I think this is the same pitch that they played Pakistan on, and which was, I think, the best pitch out of all the four games that India have played there. The ball, I think, did not spin much. I think that's why I don't think the spinners got much turn. Uh, uh, the Pacers, when they were wearing their lengths and they were bowling, the slower ones, they were getting more purchase from the surface. I don't know how Ellis and Dwarshuis will go on this. I thought Australia, though, I think made an error by dropping Spencer Johnson, considering that India have trouble with high pace left arm seamers. And I think Spencer Johnson could be missed over here. I think that was a tactical mistake by bringing in a wrist spinner for a left arm seamer.
And that
Um,
was genuine
I,
fast bowler.
that to a genuine fast bowler, and knowing that India have issues against left arm seam, I thought that that was an error in team selection from Australia.
Manuja, do you also agree with Nitin on that team selection bit? Both the team selection, I want to know, India and Australia. What do you think about both the selections?
India, I think we've just done fine. There was no need to any for any tinkering at this point of time. And like we spoken earlier, if you maintaining that consistency in a winning situation, just keep it that way. I completely agree with Nitin. Uh, Conley coming in, I don't think adds up in terms of having that genuine, left arm pacer there to trouble the Indians. Uh, I think Australia also got a little carried away with this spin thing. But I mean, to our credit, to India's credit, we do play spinners better. I think they missed one trick there by bringing in Cooper.
Interesting. Now, just looking at the batting card, Nitin, Steve Smith, we all came prepared for Travis Head, but Steve Smith sort of reminded everybody that he's still around. 10 years ago,
Yeah.
in the 2015 World Cup semi-final also, he scored a 100. Then this time today, he scored 73. Could he have carried on for Australia to uh, pose a bigger target for India?
Yeah, I think he for they could have waited a couple more overs before they could launch. And what happened was, once Smith and Maxwell were dismissed quickly, Dwarshuis, I think, played out a sequence of dot balls which robbed Carey of his momentum. Although Dwarshuis, I think, hit Kuldeep for a six, and that was a key partnership bit for the seventh wicket, which I think took Australia beyond 250. I thought Australia did well to avoid a late collapse there. Otherwise, they were under threat of getting bowled out for around 240, 245. But that partnership kind of took them over the 250 mark. I think they're just about par. But I was also very, very impressed, Chandresh, with the way Alex Carey batted. I think there is that streak of Michael Bevan in him of controlling the middle overs, batting very well with the tail. I think that's an area that Bevan specialized in, and I think Alex Carey also did the same. And obviously he has more range of strokes than Michael Bevan, and I think he plays spin very well. And I think Alex Carey's innings, 8 4s, 1 6, and a strike rate of 107, and the number of sweep shots he played as soon as he came inside, it just completely threw the Indian spinners off their lengths.
Yeah, we've got Sahil Malhotra joining us from outside the Dubai International Stadium. Sahil, welcome to the chat. What's the buzz like at the stadium right now?
Lot of empty seats, Chandresh. Why the trend has continued since that Pakistan game. No one is ready to brave the heat because I think it has been the hottest day of the Champions Trophy so far. Very very dry and very very hot. Maybe now that India are batting second, you will see less vacant seats because when the evening sets in, it gets a bit more cooler here in Dubai. So you could expect a nearly full house, but still not a full house. Still not a full house. Plenty of tickets were still up for grabs yes until yesterday. मतलब अभी तक टिकट्स ऐसा कुछ सेल आउट वाला माहौल बना नहीं था यहाँ पे और वो डिफिकल्ट भी है बनना हम रिपीटेडली वही बात कर रहे हैं मतलब हाइब्रिड मॉडल के अंदर आप बस कैसे सस्टेन करोगे यहाँ तो क्रिएट नहीं हो रहा तो सस्टेन कैसे होगा
But Sahil, if I were to ask you, uh, the bowling effort by India, like Manuja and Nitin were also discussing, what did you make of the comeback by India? Great fight back.
No, I think very, very well. The troops are very well marshaled by Rohit Sharma. Yaar. If you look at his bowling changes, initially when he gave that 2 over 3 over burst to Varun, and after that when Smith and Labuschagne came into bat, he had left arm spinners from both ends. Introduced Aksar before Jadeja because he's a better operator with that hard ball. So Rohit's bowling changes were spot on, and the way Mohammad Shami actually responded, he was bearing the load of that lone seamer there and bowling in different phases. He came on to bowl in that second power play, looked very effective then, nailed the Yorkers, tried the short delivery with the new ball. वो कूपर भाई साहब को तो पता ही नहीं था हो क्या रहा था वहां पे वो 7 8 बॉल तो पता नहीं what he was trying to do there. But I was you know a lot of focus was on spin when we before this game that it's a dry pitch, spin, spin, spin. But Mohammad Shami bowled his heart out there. That spell was as good as it gets because except the early assistance, there wasn't much in him, much in it for him. The ball was stopping the odd one around the good length mark was stopping a bit, but Mohammad Shami used the conditions beautifully and. There are some angles which could be explored because it's an off-center wicket. It's not a center wicket. It's third from the left of the media box end. So he worked his angles well, bowled well, and I think I was mighty impressed by Mohammad Shami. That spell was brilliant.
Manuja, just building on that spell that Sahil touched upon, Mohammad Shami, when he dropped that cotton ball opportunity in the first over, and then in the very next over, there was like a chip shot kind of a thing which didn't carry to Akshar Patel. Did you also think, like many others in India, that here we go again with Travis Head?
Yes, very honestly, because that lifeline in the opening over, I thought would have come back to haunt Shami if he hadn't bowled after. I think that third over that Shami bowled, I thought for me was the standout over that he bowled. And yeah, of course, head did cost us some runs, but didn't prove as heavy as probably Smith did. I think Smith also, again, those were tough chances. Very easy for me to sit here and say, oh, he didn't catch it. But then, for a bowler who's just finished his run up, and it's Shami, so let's cut some slack for him there. But like Sahil was saying, the way he mixed up his bowling, the full ones, and he also I think bowled around the wicket a couple of times. I think fantastic bowling by him. I think the only bowler who I thought was a little too tardy today was Hardik Pandya. I thought there were one too many loose deliveries from him, the wides that he bowled today. But I think overall a very, very disciplined bowling effort.
Uh, Nitin, there was obviously a lot of attention on Varun Chakravarti after the 5 wicket haul against New Zealand. What did you make of the way he bowled? He straight away came and dismissed Travis Head. Was he the missing link always against Travis Head in the wide ball format, according to you?
Any spinner who bowls to him in the power play, I think even Ashwin, I think in that World Cup final would have probably made the difference. Although I think he survived, I think 8 or 9 played and misses in that opening spell from Bumrah and Shami both. With Bumrah, I think coming twice, very, I think 1 centimeter away from getting him clean bowled. But I think he does have the head-to-head matchup with Ashwin and Travis Head. I think the it goes in favor of Ashwin there. And here also, I thought there was maybe after the first couple of overs, I thought maybe Rohit delayed Varun's introduction to Travis Head, because I think Travis Head would have gone for him, and India would have probably been chasing 20 or 25 runs lesser had we got Travis Head in his 20s. And the way, as Manuja was saying, that how lucky he was, there was also an inside edge four that went to fine leg of Shami, and a direct hit run out. So he had 3 lives, and all the Indian fans were almost holding their hands in their head in their hands, saying what the hell is happening. But thankfully, Shubman Gill took a good catch there.
TOI Sports Digital has also done a poll on Indian spinners. We'll just bring that up as well. And 85% people have voted for India to play 4 spinners against Australia. And Rohit, it was a TOI Sports impact that Rohit heard the viewers and decided to play 4 spinners. Sahil, are you now feeling vindicated? Your trip is vindicated now?
Sorry, I missed the question. I missed the first half of your question.
I said that the poll suggested that India should play 4 spinners against Australia, and 85% of the voters voted for 4 spinners. Are you feeling that your trip is vindicated now? We can add Gigi also to that vindication.
No, no, me and Gigi had a very interesting and heated conversation for the first 1 hour. Both of us had the travel agent on speed dial because Gigi का टिकट 6 का है, मेरा 11 का है, तो या तो एक प्रीपोन करता या एक पोस्टपोन करता. तो पहला 1 घंटा जब ट्रेविस छक्का मार रहा था, Gigi kept giving me looks, but after 1 hour I think Gigi has already postponed his ticket now, क्योंकि अब तो लग रहा है कि मतलब it shouldn't be that bad a chase, yeah. It should be a straightforward chase. And coming to India playing 4 spinners, I think it was a more forced call after what Varun Chakravarti did. And now we can, like, after the spell, after the innings, we can probably say Kuldeep wasn't that effective. He has had that run in big ICC matches where he hasn't had his best when it comes to big games. But you still can't tinker with that combination because 4 of them together give Rohit a lot of options to hunt in pairs, and he looks more comfortable as a captain when he's pairing Akshar Patel with a Kuldeep or a Jadeja with a Varun Chakravarti as compared to what he could probably do with a Harshit Rana or Harshdeep if you play that extra seamer. Just purely going by Rohit's captaincy. I personally feel even in tests when he has more spinners in the options, he becomes a much more controlled captain, and he looks a bit proactive on that front, and that's what he did today. Nitin Bhai mentioned about Varun's introduction into the attack. I personally thought had Varun started the bowling or probably second, third over, Travis Head could have been a bit tentative against him, but because he was introduced at a time when Head was already in that flow, he went after him straight away because the batter was in that flow, the sixes were being hit, he was getting those boundary balls which he like 3 boundaries on the trot against Hardik or Shami I think. So मुझे लगा वो 8वें ओवर में जब वो लेके आए कुलदीप के बाद, तो वो इस फ्लो में थे हेड की, उन्होंने जाना ही था और इसीलिए वो अपॉर्चुनिटी थोड़ा क्रिएट हुआ. मुझे नहीं पता रोहित ऐसा सोच रहे थे कि नहीं, आउटसाइड से ऐसा मेरे को लगा कि he timed it to perfection because head would have gone after him considering what he did for the first 25-30 deliveries against Hardik and Shami.
Sahil, you've given us important information about our colleague Gaurav Gupta that he didn't have hopes of India making it to the final. We'll pick that up with him and we'll take that offline with him on that particular aspect. But Manuja, when it comes to talking about the record between India and Australia and ICC men's ODI tournaments, the dice is slightly loaded in favor of Australia, with them famously beating India in the final of the 2023 final and also the 2003 World Cup final. Uh, do you see that record changing a bit today?
Uh, One thing, whether it's the men's team or the women's team, Australia are the big match players in ICC tournaments. Uh, I don't see a reason why, given India's batting lineup, I know we've been a little iffy, but with the stability that Shreyas Iyer lends to that middle order, I don't see a reason why you can't chase down a target, which, like Nitin was saying, is more a pass score. Uh, I mean, even if India goes on to win this match, I think it's just our middle overs bowling, especially after the 30th over. I think credit to that. Uh, I feel it's a very chaseable target. Then, of course, Sai will be able to tell us how conditions change hereafter, but very chaseable given the lineup.
Nitin,
And
I was
also, they have
just
one pacer shot.
yeah, absolutely. They, like Nitin pointed out, they're one pacer shot. Uh, this is another poll that we did. Who will lead their team to the final? Again, not surprisingly, 81% have voted in favor of Rohit Sharma leading his team into the final. Basically, coming back on Sunday to the same ground, same venue, or in the words of Nasir Hussain and Michael Atherton, same bus, same town, same bed, everything is the same. Nitin, so there's no real surprise here that Rohit Sharma is expected to lead India into the final. In addition to this, I also wanted to ask you, Nitin, about the 2011 quarterfinal. Scores similar, 260 for
Yeah.
6 Australia. Today again, Australia batting first, 264. That seemed at that time a bit under par. Does it similarly feel under par here?
Yeah, because that I think in that game a lot of dew also came into the ground. Ahmedabad generally at under lights, it does get dewy as we saw in the 2023 World Cup final also. The wicket just completely changed its character. I'm not very sure that the same will happen in Dubai because it's the dew has not come in so far in most of the games. But it does tend to get a little bit better to bat on, and I think this pitch is not similar to the one that we played New Zealand on. This pitch is a little better. The ball is coming a little bit better onto the bat, and even in that Ahmedabad attack, if you in the 2011 quarterfinal attack, that one had Jason Kreza, Brett Lee, Mitchell Johnson, and Sean Tate, Shane Watson, and I don't think Australia have that class of. I mean, India will have to have a shocking batting day or shocking batting evening to not make it through to the final. Rohit Sharma, if he bats 20 overs, I think the game is done.
Uh, Sahil, one last comment from you before you head into the press box. What's the mood like in the press box?
As I said, the mood was travel agents were on speed dial और अभी भी कुछ लोग वो अभी भी लग के बैठे हुए हैं यार 10 ओवर देखते हैं 10 ओवर देखते हैं जीजी तो एज यूजुअल अभी थोड़ा वो कंफ्यूजन के अंदर ही है भाई अभी 10 ओवर रुकूंगा 10 ओवर रुकूंगा मैं बोल रहा हूँ भाई कर लो पोस्टपोन ठीक है 4-5 हज़ार का फटका लगेगा जब पता चल जाएगा कि इंडिया फाइनल पहुंच गई है तो सारे ओवर ड्राइव पे होंगे एंड और लास्ट मतलब चेस का अगर बात करूं मैं तब से यही सोच रहा था जो 250 रन टोटल लगा है अगर न्यूजीलैंड वाला अटैक होता इस पिच पे भी it would have been 70-30 in New Zealand's favor. But primarily because the attack Australia have, it shouldn't be that difficult a chase for India. And as Nitin Bhai said, they need to have a disastrous kind of outing with the bat to not chase this one down. Good wicket. It is not true, but it's still a pitch where you can hit through the line. That's what Carey did. That's what Steve Smith did. ट्रेविस हेड डिड तो आपको वहाँ इंडिकेशंस लगा है कि इतना शॉट मेकिंग इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है जितना मे बी पाकिस्तान गेम में था बांग्लादेश गेम में था और इनफैक्ट न्यूजीलैंड गेम में तो आई थिंक सबसे डिफिकल्ट मेरे को लगा जो पिच था अगर आप स्लगिशनेस की बात करें सो वो वाले कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स इस पिच में नहीं दिखे हैं एंड इट्स प्रॉब्ली द बेटर सर्फेसेस व्हिच वी हैव सीन इन द लास्ट 3 games and the 4th game now.
Thank you, Sahil. All the best for the rest of the match. And file some great reports from the stadium after the match. Hopefully, another India win, yet another final for Indian champions.
नहीं एक अभी आने वाला है अगर शुभमन गिल के बैट पे वही हुआ जो हमें लग रहा है वो तैयार है अभी 10 मिनट में आ जाएगा तो पहले वो देख लेना है
ठीक है ओके done we'll wait for that.
See you Nitin bhai, see you Manuja, see you.
Bye.
Manuja, yes, going back to the bowling effort from India spinners, if we can have the scorecard again. Just looking at the scorecard, someone like the 4 spinners, Ravindra Jadeja, yet again proving to be like a important member of this one-day setup. How is India ever going to fill the gap that Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, and Ravindra Jadeja, if if and when they ever leave the stage, how is this gap ever going to be filled? Because it took us so long to build this all-rounder trio. To once again look for such a uh, tremendous trio of all-rounders is going to be difficult.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, especially Akshar Patel and Jadeja, what they bring to the team, Hardik, of course, but in terms of a spin all rounder perspective, uh, these two, in a white ball context in particular, have been so good, so consistent. I mean, we all know what Akshar Patel's contribution was during the World Cup, and they bring it. And even today, Jadeja for us is, I don't know how old is he? 35? Around
36.
that much?
36. 36.
36. Yeah.
36. Yeah.
That kind of agility, flexibility on the field, I think he's cut easily 15, 20 runs as a fielder today. I still don't understand how, whether it was Marcus or Josh Inglis, why would you go on your back foot against Jadeja? I mean, it's not that you're playing him for the first time. I mean, the rule of that man is also, he makes it look so effortless. Definitely, they whoever comes in thereafter, those are really really big shoes to fill, not just as spinners or people who bring in that quality as batsmen, also fielding, which I think Varun Chakravarti, the sooner he picks up, the better it is.
Nitin, a word on the fielding as well, especially Shreyas
Yeah.
Iyer's direct hit. That was great. That was simply tremendous.
Yeah, all of them, Shreyas Iyer, Virat Kohli, all the people who man the hot spots, as they say, as the dressing room generally call these areas the hot spots. Virat, I think, went past Ricky Ponting in terms of number of catches that he's taken. Only Mahela Jayawardene over 218, I think, is ahead of him. Ricky Ponting had 160, and I think he took two catches today, so he's now surpassed Ricky Ponting. So he's now second in terms of all-time catches for an outfielder. So tremendous, really. I mean, he's been inspirational in the field. Hopefully, he'll be inspirational with the bat. A word on Ravindra Jadeja, such a good defensive bowler. He he knows how to defend the corners, how to defend the big hits. Even in that World Cup final, when everyone was going for runs, I thought he bowled his 10 overs very economically. Although he did not get wickets, but I thought he just knows his angles so beautifully. And once whenever he decides to leave, he'll be a huge hole to fill.
Interesting. Any word, Manuja, on Akshar Patel's injury? That's a question by one of our subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, I was just seeing that. I'm not sure. In fact, I was just, Chandesh, I was also looking up. Did look a little nasty with rather awkward, not even nasty. I think it looked a little awkward with the way he tumbled. But hopefully he'll come back to. Hopefully we won't need him to come back and bat.
That's a good
That's more
point.
like it.
That's a good point. The top four should do the deed.
Oh yes.
But Nitin, a lot is riding on this game. As you can
Yeah.
imagine, the rest of the world is sort of ganged up against India because they believe that India's hegemony is ruining world cricket. As I've been seeing comments about how the rest of the world is hoping for Australia to turn things around. That's also happening in the background. We can't brush it away. It's happening in the background.
Yeah, and I think uh, even across the border, I think Pakistan would, if India does not get past the Australian total, then I think the final gets moved back to Lahore. So Pakistan would also, I think, want the summit clash to be held over there. Interesting times, but I think that India should have this one covered. As I said, that it'll have to be a shocking batting display, or someone to have an inspired spell, which I don't think this bowling attack really has.
Manuja, your views? Do you think that India can chase this down?
Yes, and I'm hoping we chase it down with plenty to spare. Well, like we said, the top four should do the deed. Uh, Shubman Gill is somebody I'm really looking forward to. I really enjoy watching him bat across formats. The elegance with which he bats, and I think he's also having a good tournament. Yes, Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma should, I think, like you said, last see off those first 20 overs and then take it from there.
Nitin, if we were to point out one bowler that India needs to be wary of, would it be Adam Zampa or the new boy Tanveer Sangha?
I will really be wary about Adam Zampa. I think he has the knack of picking wickets against India. Especially, he has, I think, a very good record against Virat Kohli. I think that's one guy who we need to be really, really careful about. Also, we also need to be a little bit careful with the variations that Nathan Ellis possesses. He can suddenly, pull up, put up a high pace delivery, and also he has those variations when if you try and attempt the big shot against him, he has those variations, those slower cutters, the slower leg cutters, which he puts it into the pitch and the ball bounces. So I think these are the little variations that we need to be careful about. But as I said, I don't think I think they've made a mistake by dropping Spencer Johnson, because I think
If we were,
he was somebody who has the X factor in this attack.
if we were to look at the Australian playing 11 a little closely, we'll just get an understanding of what are the options that skipper Steve Smith has in terms of his bowling options. They've got Tanveer Sangha and Adam Zampa as the two spinners, two genuine spinners. Then they've got Glenn Maxwell, who can bowl a bit of off spin. Travis Head can turn his arm over. Marnus Labuschagne can bowl. Ben Dwarshuis and Nathan Ellis and Cooper Connolly as well. Uh, Manuja, not really an attack that should uh, worry an Indian batting lineup.
Ideally, no. I mean, because you've gone with, like you said, two genuine spinners, and then you don't have Spencer Johnson there, so a pacer shot. You can't really. I don't know if I would call it bits and pieces of a bowling attack instead of a rounded bowling attack there. I mean, you have people who can. You've gone spin heavy, but you're also chasing, and it's the Indian team at the end of the day.
Yes, the Indian chase has begun. One last word from the two of you, starting with you, Nitin. India in the final, yes or no?
Yes.
Manuja?
Yes.
So, on that positive
And you,
note,
Chandresh?
uh, me as
And
well,
you?
me as well, me as well. I think that India makes it to the final. And on that positive note, that India's first boundaries also come of the second delivery of this chase. We wind up for today. We'll be back again tomorrow to review this semi-final and also look at the semi-final that's going to be played tomorrow in Lahore. Without fail, please do like, share, subscribe this platform wherever you're watching us: Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, wherever. And especially if you're on YouTube, please do not forget to press the notification bell. Till tomorrow, please take very good care of yourself. We'll be back again tomorrow. Goodbye.